Ew. Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Raw is Netflix now, in case you haven't heard. We're going to get into all of that. Well, actually, everything from WWE is Netflix for us over here in the UK. We're going to get into all that and a lot more. And as you can see, or soon to be here, my co-host is back, Mr. Andy Burrows. Evening, buddy.
Hello, mate. How are you, sir? Happy Raw is Netflix. Yeah. How's things, mate?
Good, mate. WWE is Netflix for us. We get everything now over on the flick. So it's spine busters and chill, I think, for us.
What you get up to in your personal time, mate, is up to you and Rachel. I'm not here to judge, but yeah, I've got a lot of friends in America who are so pissed off that we get literally everything. I don't know if you scroll through some of the Facebook posts on the
Mm.
WWE. They're like, "Oh, we don't get this. I can't." They're using like VPNs and stuff like that. I'm like, well, "Welcome to our world. We've been doing this for years." But yeah, it was an interesting Monday. I watched the first hour live and then I dozed off and watched the rest on Tuesday. But yeah, Raw is officially Netflix now, mate. It's underway.
It certainly is indeed. You say, I think it calls that. I think look, the response online was a kind of a half and half, but ultimately, I think that like it is kind of they had to reset for the new viewer. I think it was more about the new viewer and getting them to learn this is what WWE is, this is who we are, more so than perhaps the viewers like us who have watched it. And I think Michael Cole, before we get into the Raw entirely, I think Michael Cole done a great job of explaining it in a way in which we're not sitting there going, "Well, obviously," and then, but as well as bringing in that new viewer to WWE.
Yeah, I think like I said when me and you were chatting last week, and we were obviously talking about Raw going to Netflix. I've got so many mates that are like, "Oh, I get to watch again." I haven't watched it since the good old days, and obviously we're going to get into the people that were on the show. But yeah, I get why that me and you were speaking on Tuesday over text. I get why they done it. I don't
Yeah.
dislike it. I don't. There was things I loved about the show. There was things I really didn't like about the show, which I'm
Mhm.
sure we're going to get into. Look, I get why they done it. I get why
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I understand why they done what they had to do. For I'm kind of 50-50 torn from what I saw on Monday. I think maybe the hype outbuilt the show. But then when you flip it to what you just said, I get why they've done what they've done. 80% of the world's population have a Netflix account now. Michael Cole kept making that point on Monday. 80% of the world's population. So uh, God knows how many new viewers they got out of that. I know plenty of people that have messaged me, Andy, I watched wrestling for the first time in X amount of years, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yep, it is good what they've done because so many people get to watch. Did I like everything about it? No, but I was like you. Like again, we're going to get into it. You messaged me on Tuesday, say I think they got a pass from Monday
Mm.
because of what it was and how it was,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get into that right now. What I will say, that arena is sensational.
Oh, incredible, mate. Where the Clippers play, yeah, it's
Yeah.
an incredible. I've got a couple of friends that live out that way. Praying for them right now, by the way. The fires that
Yes.
they've got on out there. I've spoke to some friends literally 20 minutes before we started recording. Terrible what's going on out. Thoughts and prayers going to everyone in LA. Yeah, it's incredible out there. You can see why they're taking Mania to the West Coast kind of thing. They do things right over there. The arena was incredible. The crowd were incredible. It was that side of it, the spectacle, like the start of it, that whole bit at the start. I think it works so well because of that arena with the
Mm.
curtain dropping and Triple
Yeah.
H. That for me, I was like, wow, that for me, that was one of the parts I absolutely loved. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, I thought the arena was great. They need to do more there. Just talking of arenas and you talking of countries and everything. Saudi Arabia, Royal Rumble 2026, blood money obviously working very well for Saudis and getting pay-per-views. How I'm saying this right now on the show, I don't know if you agree, within the next 5 years they're getting a WrestleMania.
I don't even think it'd be five, mate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't generally, mate. I think me and you could be watching Mania this year, and you know how they always tell us the next couple nowadays. That
Yeah.
seems like it needs to get the next year, but it seems to be the next two. They're getting one long before London. I know. Obviously, we were at Money in the Bank and seeing it come out and give it the whole WrestleMania to London. No,
Yeah.
it's the way the sporting world's going, and it's good and bad. Look, boxing's out there now. Look at Live Golf, what they're doing. They're going out there more and more. Wrestling's been doing it already, but now they're getting a major pay per view. Was you hit the nail on the head, mate? How much money do WWE really need? How much money have they already made from this Netflix deal? How much money are they making from Saudi Arabia? And we talk all the time about, there being competition in wrestling. Global companies over the world can't compete with WWE now. And we're
Yeah.
talking breed, but you're putting up there with they're up there now with the Disneys, with the Nikes, with the with all them kind of brands. WWE is so they've got to be in the top five easily in the world. And the fact that Royal Rumble's going there, be interesting to see what they do for the women's Rumble.
Oof, yeah, good shout, actually. Good shout. The only good thing about it is we get it at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Great, mate. Yeah, we can. Me, and you could probably be a first show that me and you can actually probably watch together. We can arrange something
Yeah,
that's going to be 6 o'clock in the evening. That is the only good side. It's going to be 6 o'clock at night on a Saturday as well,
on
which is
Netflix.
it on Netflix. It's going to be we are great. We can go to football, come home and watch the Rumble. Happy days.
What a better way to do it. Right, let's get in to Raw now. Yeah, as you mentioned, I love the opening video. We saw it. I think I texted you it before Raw
Hmm.
had even started. It was great. Triple H bringing up the curtain. That was great. Then The Rock comes out. And again, this has been talked about, and we're talking a bit more about NXT as well in a minute because The Rock did show up on NXT this past week. The Rock come out, and again, when he initially done this, so he cut a babyface promo praising everybody, praising Cody, praising Roman, pretty much praising everyone in the WWE, um, and everyone's kicked off about it. But I go back to what I said at the start about introducing, and it's Netflix first show, everyone's there. He is the biggest star in Hollywood outside of the WWE. He can't come on Raw and cut a heel promo. It wouldn't work for what it was. In about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, if he's doing WrestleMania, that is still up in the air. He will come out and he will be the quote unquote the final boss that we saw last year. And I think people need to get it into their head that this was the first Netflix show. Rock can't come and be the final boss from last year.
No, he come out as Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
He come out of one of the heads of TKO. He come out of one of the executive directors, whatever he is, producers of WWE. A lot of fans figured it out pretty much straight away. If by all intents and purposes, that would have been Vince McMahon back in the day. It would
yes.
have been Stephanie. It would have been, a McMahon. We all know why it's not. So he probably, outside of the Khans, is the next person that you're going to put on TV. You're not going to put any of the Khans on TV. It took a while for the brain to register that he was there as Dwayne Johnson. He wasn't that promo. That promo wasn't him as The Rock. I know he'd done his yes, he done all
Yeah.
that shtick. That opening though was him as Dwayne Johnson. On the flip side of that, he probably in 15 minutes worth of promos killed an entire year of storyline telling.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I get it. I get why I'm with you again. I'm with you. I get why he come out and done what he done. But then the wrestling fan and me, not the business head, me and you understand the business. We dedicated a lot of our lives to wrestling. The fan in me goes, oh, that's Cody Rhodes is standing ringside, and you've literally just squashed a year-long feud, maybe longer, with what they've been building and everything that's gone on. And the night after Mania last year on Raw, when The Rock come out and he cut that great promo and said, "We're
Yeah.
not done yet," blah blah blah. And then you cut to this past Monday, and within 20 minutes in the ring and 5 minutes segment backstage when he's chinged the tequila glass, downed it and got in his car and drove
Yeah.
off, done. That's the only thing for me as a
Mm.
pure wrestling fan. Again, you're right. We don't know what's happening 4 or 5 weeks down the line. You know, who knows what's going to happen up in the build up to the Rumble? You've got Elimination Chamber, you've got Mania. For me, though, that's where they really did drop the ball. You had a Monday Night Raw where you just had Cody Rhodes at the ringside and done a squashed run-in, and you didn't have Gunther on it. You're two
No.
champions. You didn't have on the show. You're meant to be there. Imagine having a boxing event and you don't, and you put Tyson Fury on the undercard, or you put something like that, or you just have him at ringside. You advertise. It was kind of, for me, that's where they did drop the ball, and that started with The Rock literally destroying a year's worth of work in 20 minutes worth of promo. Again, get why he done it, but from purely a wrestling fan, I'm thinking, oh, that's that's done then. And literally it was done. And then obviously I haven't watched NXT yet, but you told me what happens and it's properly squashed. It sounds like he's not going to be around on WWE TV anytime soon.
Yeah, so to add on to that, he did go to NXT. He had a backstage skit with the Ethan Page, where at the end of it, he slaps him on the arse and says, "See you later, sweet cheeks," which was quite,
Might
which
try
was
that to you
quite.
next time I see you.
And then he comes out the end. He does cut a promo. He did say on the promo, and this is kind of where, although I think he's going away because the end of it, he said like, "I'll be back," blah blah blah. He did before that then say a seemingly kind of heelish promo because he went, "One minute you're saying that I shouldn't have been bad to Cody, and then when I was good to Cody, you now moaning that I'm being good to Cody." And he was saying he was differentiating NXT fans to everybody else. He's saying, and they would did this and they said that. Well, I'm telling them to know your role, shut your mouth, and wait and see what happens because I'm 20 steps ahead of you.
Hmm.
That indicates perhaps it might not be WrestleMania, but perhaps we are going to go down that route. And there's conflicting reports. Some saying he's not, some saying they don't know. And let's face it, nobody knows. Maybe WWE know if he's doing it or not. But he has left it open now. Should he have perhaps done that kind of promo on Monday Night Raw to keep that door open?
Yeah, no, again, I'm with you, mate. I think they should have done something on Raw. Do the opening, that's fine. I've got no problems with that. But maybe later on in the show, you could have done something backstage. You could have had him come out to the ring again. I mean, he did come out to the ring again, which we're going to get into the main event just to do that. And when he put the Ula Fala, is it
Yeah,
on Roman, I'm thinking, oh, this is where he could rock bottom him, he could do something, and
yeah,
then that sets something off, and then he sails off into the sunset. Then you know it's left open. But for him just to stand in the ring, there was no side eye, there was no hint of you got, oh,
no,
this is going to turn. It was just like he gave everyone their flowers and he left. So yeah, it's always like this WWE. Look, the door's never shut, no matter who you are, unless you're Hulk Hogan, which we might get into. But the door's never really closed in WWE, especially as we're now in officially on the road to WrestleMania. So yeah, mate, look, I think the fans were more disappointed
mm,
than anything.
yeah,
Again, I go back to what you said at the start. We get why he done it for the new fans. Hence what again we're going to get into this. Hence why Taker was there. Hence why Hogan was there. You've got people that grew up that haven't watched wrestling for donkey's years. They know the Undertaker. They know Hogan. The only downside for your quote unquote everyday fan like me and you and millions of and millions and millions everywhere, they kind of pandered a little bit to the newer fan on Netflix.
yeah,
I get what it does. I mean, we're going to get into like there was people in the famous people in the crowd. They're going up to the box, the Netflix producers. I mean, for me, it wasn't what I call a Monday Night Raw. It was more a showcase of. It was basically a big presentation. It was basically
yeah,
this is who we are,
mm,
what we do, and this is what you can expect moving forward.
yeah,
They tied up more storylines than they set up. I think next week's Raw, Friday this week's SmackDown and next week's Raw will really be when we touch wood, hopefully see a more what we call a conventional wrestling show.
yes, and we will find out for sure. Anyway, but Raw with the first match, and when that was nearly an hour into Raw after they'd done all this stuff and they were, setting things up. The first match was what you just said: Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala Tribal Combat. I didn't. Just I liked it and I didn't like it. And I don't. I said wait, 'cause I can't explain why. It was like it was good. It was fine. Match was good. You knew you were going to get loads of interference, and it was never going to be a match without it. The Kevin Owens bit at the end, he did try and cost Roman the match, and I kind of thought it was going to go there. I was a bit surprised. I know McIntyre had a match later, but I was surprised that he didn't come out with everything. I'm surprised Jey Uso didn't come out, but again, they were probably preparing for their match. But it's a thing. Um, Roman does pick up the victory, claims the Ulafala. The Rock comes out, puts it on him, like you say. That for me, and I don't know, we've got that transfer window coming up as well. It's still kind of in motion. Don't know when that's gonna go, end, but it for me signaled the end at that point. It felt like it was the end of that saga. And perhaps Roman and the Usos, whatever, will now move to Raw, and perhaps Solo will be on SmackDown with his group. It just felt like that was it. And we're now maybe at a new phase of where the bloodline's going.
Yeah, I mean Roman obviously said later on in the day he's next on Raw on the 27th of
Yeah, January.
as soon as he said the 27th, I was like, well, that's a Monday. So he's
Yeah.
obviously going to be he won't be he'll be on Raw what in two weeks.
Mhm.
We'll see him on Raw next. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It left me more questions than answers. Again though, I was thinking to myself, Is that how they've ended the like bloodline this whole
Yeah.
since 2020? Is that how it ends? And you're like, oh, if it is, then okay. But if it really is, then it's a bit shit. But you're kind of like, again, I was like you. I liked it and I didn't like it. I mean, Drew McIntyre's been banging on for the last two and a half weeks. Oh, I'm taking everyone out in the bloodline that sided with Roman. Well, they're all in the ring right now. Why would
Yeah.
you not do some sort of? Why would you not have him do the running? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens has got Kevin Owens done a running just so you could have a glimpse of Cody. That's
Yeah.
all. That's the only reason he done it.
Yep. So Cody could come
If
out.
you want
Yeah.
to quote unquote tell the story, then it had to be Drew that comes down. There's some sort of, and then you're kind of setting up, oh, the Rumble's coming up. I'm going to guess either Drew's going to do something on the 27th or it's going to be Punk. It's going to be one of them two that
Mm.
Roman's going to go feuding into the Rumble with, and
Yeah.
then Chamber of Mania. So they're going to start setting that up. But yeah, it was all right, mate. Again, I didn't really know what to make of it. I mean, I was nodding off. It was like the last match I watched before I went to sleep. I'm not going to lie. But again, I don't know. Is it the end of the bloodline story? What do they do? Is Roman? We were speculating before. Oh, Heyman's going to side with Solo. There's going to be this. There was nothing. It was a run
No.
in. It was like a match that me and you have seen millions of times since we've been fans. You see
Mm.
them at house shows. You see them at every wrestling event you go to. We can go to Ignite, and you'd see a run in, and you'd see and that's the baby face will win, and you'll be like, oh, okay, this is page one of the wrestling book.
Yeah.
They didn't venture off that. So yeah, it was all right, mate. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm kind of like you. I'm like, well, where do they go now? We're not going to see Roman for 2 weeks. What happens with the new bloodline on SmackDown this Friday? More questions than answers.
Yep. And hopefully we'll get those answers, especially with the new bloodline this coming Friday. Not necessarily we're going to go in order at this point, but the next port of call is John Cena. The really retirement tour begins. He talks about, everyone wants him to. Does he want people? Does he want everyone to want him to go for the 17th title? Everyone was like, "Yay, we do want to do that." And he was like, "It's not going to happen. Here's why: I haven't won in 5 years. Don't deserve it. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win the Chamber. I'm not going to win the Rumble." Pauses, and then says, "But I've got to be in it to win it." And then he announces himself into the Royal Rumble. For me, I think he doesn't win the Rumble now. I think that kind of pandering, the way that he done it, I don't think they're going to make it or that obvious, or I don't know for that for sure. But the retirement tour for me, I think it was just a bit limp, a bit like the whole show, really. Needed a bit of Viagra, I think, in this, in general. But yeah, what did you make of it? And do you think he wins a Rumble, or do you think he may win the Chamber to drag it out a little bit further?
It's going to be, they'll probably drag it out for the whole year. He'll win the title right near the end, and then the next night he'll relinquish it. That's what's going to happen. He
Mm.
will get it's going to be it's going to be like a Rocky movie. He's going to be down for 90% of this year. He's going to get his ass whooped, and
Yeah.
there's going to be glimpses. He could, for argument's sake, win the Rumble, which means he's going to main event WrestleMania. Do you put the title in at Mania then with still 6 months left of the year? Probably not.
Mm.
So he'll win it eventually because WWE do not want Ric Flair holding that record. 100% do not want him holding that record. He
Yeah.
will win it. He will relinquish it the next night on a Raw, on a SmackDown in Saudi Arabia, wherever he does it, he'll relinquish it. So do I want him winning the Rumble? No. I, I, you know me. I've never been seen as biggest fan.
Hmm.
N-
Neither.
Respect the guy. Respect the hell out of him that he showed up when a lot of people did leave. They took their
Hmm.
ball and went home, quote unquote. So got a lot of respect for him for that. I just hope we don't get these pandering promos for the whole year. The final four of the Rumble will be Cena, Punk, Roman, and Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to clip that.
Clip it. That'll be the
Yeah.
final four in the Rumble. If
Yeah.
it all comes to fruition and they're all in it, Punk, Roman, yeah, Cena, and McIntyre will be the last four in the Royal Rumble. Punk will win it. Punk will go. You think how many times he's nearly headlined WrestleMania, whether it's
Yeah.
been injury, always been injuries pretty much, or WWE had a creative change. I think Punk wins the Rumble. I think it could be him and Cena be the last two. Punk will. That's where the favor could come into the storyline.
Yeah.
That's where the Paul Heyman Punk wins, and or Cena wins.
Yeah.
Punk, I don't know, or Punk somehow calls in the favor that gets him a shot at the to be in the main. Something's going to happen around there, but I think Punk wins the Rumble. I just hope Cena doesn't pander the whole fucking year because it's going to be boring as hell. I don't like watching John Cena wrestle anyway. I hope this year goes fucking quick for him because I just want to just put him in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
let him retire, let him come back and be a special guest referee at WrestleMania and do his four, 5 moves, whatever he does, and just thanks, mate. Thanks for your service, you know. But yeah, I'm with you, mate. Again, it was a lot of pandering on Monday.
Yeah. It was a bit of a story, actually. And I'm going to get your opinion. I'm going to give you mine and give you have yours. I saw an interview today with Jeff Hardy.
Hmm.
I don't know when it was. It was recent. It was a very recent interview with Jeff Hardy, and you're going to think, why the fuck is he saying Jeff Hardy? We've just talked about John Cena, but I'm going to get to the point. Obviously in a good place now, thankfully. Off away from addiction, looking well. And the interviewer asked Jeff that if he was living his life that he's living now, 25 years ago or so, how different would his life would be? And he initially said, like, I don't know, man, but he said I could have been as big as John Cena. Now, my initial thought to that, and I had a bit of time to think about it, was I kind of agree with him, and I'll go why. There's few things that WWE look out for when they go to push a talent. I mean, Jeff was a multiple-time heavyweight champion anyway, we know that. One thing was crowd response, which the Hardys always got. They got the rock star. Michael Cole said it best. It was a rock star response, and he would get it no matter where he goes. He sold the merchandise, no doubt about that. Make a wish, all of that shit. He done all that. Fans loved him, and he could wrestle in the ring. He done everything that the WWE or that the WWE would need you to do in order to become that big. The only thing that may have prevented him from maybe topping Cena would have been the fact that I don't think he's the type of guy that would be in an action movie, so as such, as much as maybe John Cena was. But that's my opinion on it. I thought it was just an interesting topic to bring up because I watched it today and I was thinking, I wonder what Andy would think about it. So over to you.
Yeah, no, I agree. He could have been as big as Cena. I mean, we've spoke many times about wrestling. I think Cena's up there with Flair as one of the most overrated
Mm,
wrestlers of all time. But he fits the bill of what WWE, on what Vince has
mm,
always wanted. Me and you have said this thousands of times over the years we've known
yep.
each other on podcasts and when we just talked wrestling. He's your typical prototype, no pun
Ha,
intended. Well, pun intended,
ha, yep.
of what Vince wanted back in the day. And there was many Rick Rude to the Ultimate Warrior, to Hogan, to Cena, to you had all them guys that fit the mold, looked like a wrestler, and they were going to push him to the hill. Yeah, but if Hardy, mate, if he had stayed the way he was, gone the way Cena is, and he's been, clean as a whistle, why not? Why
Yeah.
not? He could have easily have been. He's had some of the greatest matches, and the night he won the title off the Taker in the ladder match on a Monday Night Raw was absolutely incredible. So yeah, I mean, me personally, I think the Hardys have done more for wrestling than John Cena ever will. Wrestling wise,
Yeah.
some of the greatest moments of my wrestling fandom have been watching them two at WrestleMania in the tables, ladders, and chairs, or even in TNA, had some of the best matches of all time.
Yeah.
So for me, mate, personally, Jeff Hardy is always will be better than if you had to ask me who's a better performer, Jeff Hardy
Yep.
all day long than John Cena. But John Cena is that era now of that's the wrestling fan. So I know people that were crying. I saw people on Twitter. I know one guy, I won't name him because he's probably listening to this, but put on his Facebook, oh, I was in tears watching Cena. Fuck off. Tears. Tears. Really? I'll be in tears of joy when he finally retires. But yeah, I get what I just hope this. I hope it just doesn't go on like this for the whole. I hope we don't see this every Raw, mate. I
Yeah.
know he got asked by Chris Van Fleet after how many times are we going to see you? How many matches are you going to be in? He's like, well, I'll just turn up when they need me to work, and well, I'll always be here. Oh God. So yeah, I don't know how many times you're going to hear that promo.
Let's hope not many. Let's hope he just finds a match to start having
Who's
soon.
his first? Who do you think his first feud will be again?
Rumble. Oh, it'll be whoever eliminates him from the Royal Rumble.
Mm.
That's where I think it's
Punk,
going.
Punk or Roman?
Yeah, I'd like it. I mean, I'd like if you look at the ones you want him to wrestle, Punk, Roman, Randy
Gunter.
Orton, Gunther. Yeah, I'd like him to wrestle Dominic. I just think I love Dominic as well. We
Hmm.
said this last week. Dominic, I'd like him. Interesting. I'd like him to wrestle Chad Gable as well.
He's wrestling Penta next Monday.
Well, I was going to get to that right now, and I'm going to get to
Oh,
it
there
right
you
now.
go.
You
See, we're
mentioned
getting
it.
good at this. We're getting good at this.
You wheeled this nicely into so so there was no Penta this week. There was the promo that basically confirmed everything that we needed him to confirm, and it was Penta as man behind the mask. But Chad Gable then says, I want to do, just sort of banish the thing about me and luchadors. Adam Pearce, find me a great luchador. I'm going to wrestle him next week, and you instantly know.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, I mean, I don't want to talk about AEW too much. It's WWE show, but if you wanted to give Chad Gable or Penta a great debut match, there it is.
I hope it's near the main event as well. It's gonna, mate. That was one of the highlights for me of AEW is watching him wrestle.
Yeah,
He did it. He wasn't. He was a high flyer, but he wasn't high flyer. What I'm seeing with Will Ospreay now, it wasn't this
yeah,
trampoline. I get it. Wrestling's choreographed, but sometimes you could. It's more. It's more like they're done 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
That's what I get when I watch AEW now. You sent me that clip of that Ospreay match, and that's what I got. It was like a you come here and I throw you there. You don't. You ain't getting that with Penta. It's going
No,
to be high paced. Chad Gable's one of the best wrestlers in the world. That
yeah.
is going to be absolutely incredible. It either opens the show, which will get it off to a banger,
Mm.
or please let it be like co-main event and close the show. It's going to be incredible.
It will be. I don't think it's going to close the show. I think the street fight will with Priest and Balor.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that.
yeah. Again, I
That
forgot there were so many promos of who's showing up next week on this
yeah,
week's Raw. I've actually forgot who's on this week's Raw.
yeah, exactly that. Let's move on. Actually, let's talk about Judgment Day because Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Women's Championship.
Told you, didn't
Rhea,
I?
you did. Yeah, you did. Rhea wins the championship back. Now, what I've read now since, and there was a lot of talk about was Becky Lynch going to be there? She wasn't, but she has re-signed with the WWE. Now, what I've read since then, I don't know how true it is the reason Rhea Ripley's won is because she's going to go into a program with Becky Lynch for the Women's Championship, and Charlotte Flair's coming back, and she's going to go into the program for the SmackDown Championship. And basically, there was no room for Liv Morgan in the where they're going in a direction, which I just think's a bit shitty considering Liv's massively improved. She's done a great character work with Dominic Mysterio. Undertaker coming out was just fucking. I don't know. I mean, it was just coming out just for nostalgia. There was no. I mean, he come out, rode his motorcycle, went back, done his little pose with Rhea, and that was it.
And that was
I didn't.
pandering, wasn't it? Just
Yeah, didn't
pandering
see
to
the.
fans.
Yeah, didn't see the point in that myself. But you got it right though. Ripley is champ.
Yeah, it's going to be fair play. I mean, I love what Liv Morgan's done. I kind of see where they've done the move. I said to you last week they're going to have a major title will change hands. We kind of called it would be the women's. It was a good match actually. To be fair, considering all the matches had to be pretty quick because
Yeah,
even though it was advert free, there was a lot of fucking adverts.
yeah,
Advertising God knows what the WWE shop, where is it, this, that, and that. I get it, but yeah, decent match. I think she'll do okay as a champion. Hopefully Becky Lynch is still the Becky Lynch of old. Obviously, we know why she's been off. She's been off film. She's going to be a massive
yeah,
star in the new Star Trek coming out on Paramount Plus. I think that's set for launch in the next couple of months. So Becky Lynch she plays a prominent role in that TV series. But yeah, no, I felt a bit shit for Liv though.
mm,
There isn't room for her. Well,
yeah,
she's worked fucking hard recently. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I get why Becky got a little injury, then she had Star Trek. Charlotte had a major injury and had to recover. She's been recovered for months and months now. So it's just the fact that they quote unquote haven't had a storyline for
mm,
her. Again, she'll probably go to SmackDown and Becky will come to Raw. But yeah, I don't know where Liv goes from here. There's probably going to be a quote unquote rematch clause
yeah.
which will happen and she won't win and then she'll move on. Does she potentially win the Women's Royal Rumble? Could
Becky
do.
for me. Becky for me.
Yeah, there you go. Unless Becky gets a quote unquote title shot straight away, unless the the championship match at Rumble is Becky and
Mm,
you've got a couple of weeks to build it. I don't know how that would happen. I'm guessing the women's title is going to be defended at the Rumble. Again, you've got a lot to cram in to the Rumble now. You've got so many. You've got women's United States champions. You've got Intercontinentals for men and women. You've got world titles. You've got tag team titles. You've got both Rumbles to get in.
yeah,
How long is that? You can see why it's maybe going to 2 nights. Now with
yeah,
all these titles, I know we kind of not poo-pooed it, but you can kind of see why they're doing 2 nights now on a lot of these
mm,
events because you have to. Otherwise,
yeah,
you're not getting the whole point of pay-per-views is you get some either a culmination of your storyline ending, a carry on of what you've
yeah.
built and other little bits to it. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, yeah, fair play to Rhea. I think she's a great champion. I think she's amazing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do, mate.
Indeed, and hopefully, and no disrespect to the Undertaker, I don't want to see him do that again.
Mate,
Uh,
that was just pandering again. That was
yeah.
like, okay, you haven't seen wrestling since 1996. We'll put the Undertaker on the show.
Just not the Undertaker of '96 either.
No, he just rode out. Imagine if you hadn't watched it for years, you'd be like, why is he on a bike?
Yeah, yeah. Why? Where's Paul Bearer in
Where,
some
hang on,
cases, you know?
where's the other guy gone? Is he dead? Yeah, yes, died many years ago,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, yeah, that was, I heard the gong and I was like, well, hang on a minute, this could be, and then I heard the American Badass.
I thought someone like Dom was going to get a choke slam or something.
Again, you when you text me on Tuesday, you said that would have made perfect sense. Having come out as the Undertaker, why him and Rhea were doing that, well, they're going to embrace, are they not going to embrace? Turn the lights out, hit the Undertaker's music, turn the lights on, he's in the ring, choke slams Dom, him and Rhea walk off together.
Yeah.
Very much
Could
WWE.
have done it. We should book this shit.
We should.
We should. I want to shout out. Thank fuck Pat McAfee's back as well. By the way,
I love it. Oh, what a dude, man. Is he back full time now?
he's back on Raw. Yeah, full time.
I
Yeah,
love it. Oh, happy days. Winning. Love
brilliant.
the
It was
guy.
a big win to have him back full time. Drew and Jay Uso next. Just this one, like, but obviously the guy smoking the joint on the way out, who that rapper was with Jay Uso. I think Triple
Legal in
H.
LA, mate. Legal in that state, apparently.
Legal in LA, yeah, and Triple H was glad that Jey Uso didn't have a puff of it on the way. On
See his
the
interview
way.
afterwards. Hilarious with Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
He was like, I wanted to, but I knew I was working.
yeah. I was a bit disappointed with this. I don't know why. Obviously, Jay wins it with a roll up, so it kept Drew strong. I'm not sure what the fuck Drew's hair was all about in that one either. I don't know.
Seemed rushed.
Yeah, literally, it looked that way. I mean, I'm not find one to talk, but fucking hell, I mean,
It takes you a long time to do your
yeah, it
part.
does. You should see it. But look, it's yeah, I was just a bit. You're right. I just think the matches were just very quick, and it just felt a bit flat. And it didn't do Drew McIntyre any harm, but I would have thought McIntyre would have picked up the victory in this one.
Yeah, again, it was like I think they cut to like three ad breaks during it, and it was just
Mm,
like that. Do you know what? That's the only thing I really hope we don't get a lot of with Netflix is Netflix has said, all right, we'll sign this 10-year deal with you,
yeah.
but you've got to publicize this, and this during
Mm,
your matches because it needs to be commercial break. And I know in
yeah.
America you used to get picture in picture like we do. Over when you watch Impact Wrestling, you can get picture in picture, etc. And AEW have done it, etc., etc. But that annoyed me more than anything. It was like when they'd usually cut to commercial break, I'd get someone trying to flog me a WWE title belt from WWE shop, or I'd get some, and Slim Jim commercial
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, or something like that, and it affected me watching the match.
Mm,
You're used to commercials as a wrestling fan. You're used to that. You get it. But it was while the match was going on, and then they come back, and you could even at the start of the show when they were waiting for the Roman solo thing, they cut to like a 5 minute package of
yeah.
advertising like WWE and Netflix, and they come back to the ring, and they're both still standing there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It ended up in a roll up. It wasn't the greatest match. None of the matches were really
No.
great on Raw. It was more again, this is who we are. This is what we do. Please tune in next week. And
Yeah.
but if they're meant to be making Drew this, I'm after everyone in the bloodline. Well, you fucked that up already because you just lost to one of them.
Yeah.
You can't now come after like Roman and things like that because you've just been beaten by a roll up by main event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, mate. This show let me down more than it excited me. Bearing in
Yeah.
mind, me and you were like, this is going to be like the WrestleMania Raw. This is going to be incredible. You've got The Rock. There was talk of Austin turning up. There was blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Just be grateful Goldberg didn't turn up. But then I read today he's going to be there on not next week,
He
week
is.
after.
Couple of weeks time. Yeah.
Yeah, skipping that part. Couldn't care less. Can we review that bit now? It was terrible. Goldberg on Raw was terrible. Can we just insert that into when we review it? Awful. Um, but yeah, mate. Yeah, again, I don't know. This for me, it was more. This is rushed. Get through your match. Blah blah blah. The entrance was good. Well, the geezer smoking the joint. Obviously, it was funny. The thing about this show, and for good or bad, and we're going to get into the Hogan stuff. It done what it had to do. Everyone is talking about WWE.
Yeah.
Everyone. People that don't really watch wrestling that I know have got Netflix. They're going, oh, Andy, the wrestling's on Netflix. Yes, I know.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? But yeah, I don't know, mate. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's week one. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be fair. It's week one, and there was going to
Be
be a lot of
interesting what
issues.
SmackDown is. If SmackDown for me has always been more of the quote unquote wrestling show.
I think
This is the only thing with this Netflix here. I'd be interested to get your opinion. Don't go too far away from your identity of why we all love this industry. I don't know
Mm,
what you think. I think, and with Saudi Arabia and the Rumble, you made a great point at the start, the blood money. What do you think? Do you think that wrestling, quite across the board, we could be, maybe WWE's in a complete stratosphere of its own.
yeah.
Do you think with this Netflix deal, and as good as it is, and as grateful as we all are, do you think wrestling could lose its identity because of it?
If they keep doing what they do Monday, yes.
Mm.
The difference with SmackDown is it's not on Netflix in America. SmackDown's still on USA. So
Hmm.
there's going to be then they won't be nowhere near that what we
Yeah.
saw Monday. So yeah, it could do. It's very early to tell if they will. If they, as I said, if it's anything like Monday, if they carry on that format, absolutely.
Could you imagine, like, when you get to Mania? I mean, you always talk about, oh my God, the build up, like, even the
Yeah.
day of Mania, like, starts at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon for us. The show don't start till one. Could you imagine the adverts during WrestleMania on Netflix advertising this? The people that they go to in the crowd, oh, there's the head of Netflix, there's this. I get they always do that at Mania, but Monday, every time the camera pan, there's Macaulay Culkin, there's someone else, there's Gunter, there's Cody, there's Damian Priest, there's Steiner's son,
Rod Breaker.
yeah, Ron Breaker. Put these lot on the fucking show, for God's sake. I don't see them sitting. I don't want to see Bron Breaker sitting in the crowd. I just hope now moving forward with Raw content. I
Yeah.
don't want to. If me and you were sitting here in 3 weeks and going, oh my God, it'd be interesting to time it one week. Just keep hitting the stopwatch and see how much wrestling and storytelling we get over adverts and people in the crowd and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Before we get to the Hogan bit, which has been brilliant, we'll talk about wrestlers in the crowd, and they did pan to Nikki Bella. They didn't invite Brie Bella to the Raw, and obviously that's probably to do with the fact her husband is in AEW. Is that still a thing? Is that just not a bit pathetic? I don't know if it's pathetic or what, but the Bellas were Bella twins, right? I mean, yes, Nikki had a run as champion and whatnot, and what, but they were always known to us as the Bella twins. Could the WWE just said like, maybe she couldn't make it, who knows? But like, is it is it just a bit childish not inviting Brie? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Pathetic. Yeah, pathetic. Just invite her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but she wouldn't invite him
She
in.
might have been, yeah, she might have been, I don't know, busy, or she could have, yeah, she generally might not have been able to be there. But it looks like everyone who was everyone in Hollywood
Yeah,
was there, So it would have made sense because it would have been the Bella twins, and is Nikki now? Is she potentially going to come back? I
she
mean,
teased it.
on her podcast, but a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago, she said she wants to have a one last run. It's quite interesting having her and Cena in the same
Cena's
building.
wife was there as well.
Yeah, seen it, exactly. But yeah, could she be a shout for the women's
Yeah,
rumble?
absolutely.
It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
again. Yeah, but yeah, as for our sister, yeah, it's perfect.
I mean, yeah, I'm assuming that's why. I mean, she did. They done a video the weekend
Oh yeah.
about it.
Oh,
Not that. Can't fucking hell, Andy. We're not there yet. Jesus. Um, they done like an Insta thing, and they did, and then I wondered why they were saying something about not allowed to be there and shit. And now it makes sense. Brie
mm.
mentioned it, Nikki didn't so much, and it kind of makes sense. But anyway, let's get on to the real funny one. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus. So the music hits. Hogan comes out to a rock. I mean, the funny thing, I have subtitles on my Netflix, and it come up. But you've seen the pictures, obviously. I was seeing booing when Hogan come out. The crowd did boo him when he walked out. I mean, fucking hell. Don't need to get him. Do you know what they used to come out in WrestleMania? The
the
fucking
things, yeah.
yeah. They need to give him one of them.
WrestleMania
Um,
4.
yeah. Jesus. I mean, he just, again, it was you fucking put it right. It's pandering. The crowd hated it. There's now talk, and there's conflicting reports online, but I think it was Sean Rossap, who I pretty much, if he says something, I'm pretty much believe it, that they're now thinking of when he returned, like they're going to, obviously he will come back at some point. They're going to make him a heel. And I think that makes sense. But well, again, as you say, mate, it was pandering, and it was just fucking shit, really, wasn't it? To be honest.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. I mean, I put a tweet out about he's associated himself with Donald Trump, blah blah blah, and I couldn't get everything in the tweet. I wanted to put, and he's a massive racist. I think now, I up until what happened on Monday, I think potentially you are right. I think he would have come back. I
Hmm.
reckon Netflix now are looking at that going, not a fucking chance. Are we putting him on TV again? Mate, them boos were loud. And and we all know why, and we've all seen everyone, the world and his wife's seen the tweet and or the text that he sent that's been screenshotted a million times around Twitter.
Hmm.
The guy's a bona fide racist.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be anywhere near. Undertaker, vote. You vote for whoever you want. Me and you could have different political views, but we're still
Yeah.
mates and we still get on, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Undertaker's the same. He had Donald Trump on his podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't managed to get him yet, but he had him on his podcast. And all right, everyone's like, well, Taker got a good reception. Well, so he should. He was only on for 10 seconds. It's hard to
Yeah.
boo him when his music's still playing. As for Hogan, it purely was because what he's done and what he said.
Hmm.
If he hadn't done that, but let's be honest, his reactions the last few times he's come back to WWE haven't been great
No.
for various reasons for what he said outside of the ring. The modern day wrestling fan, I think I put this in my tweet, and I kind of stand by it a little bit. If you're of our age, if it wasn't for him, I still stand by this. I don't think we have the professional wrestling we have today. So I'll give him his flowers for that.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm with all the fans that tweeted me back, were like, Andy, look, he's a racist. Is it? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, look, I couldn't get it all in one tweet, but yeah, I'm with you. I get why he got booed, and he deserved to be booed for some of the comments and some of the things that he said. But yeah, it was just, I think WWE didn't really read the room there, and that's probably on Hunter, on
Hmm.
Paul Levesque, because he would have booked it. He would have gone, look, let's just get him because it's him, it's Taker, it's Cena. People would be like, they know them, they associate
Yeah.
wrestling with them. What they didn't figure was, look, as Jesus walked out to he's been at the he was at the Donald Trump rally ripping off his t-shirt. He's a massive racist, allegedly beating the living bejesus out of people that he shouldn't be beating, alleged.
Yeah.
So let's not put him on the show. They
Yeah.
did. Now that then the only good thing is I don't think WWE are getting a backlash really. I think it's more Hogan. Jimmy Hart's face
Yeah.
was the best. I know it doesn't move too much anymore,
No.
but it just kind of like it just that's us never getting him on the show. His face just kind of like, oh my god,
You
and
know what he reminds me of? Do you remember the program Spitting Image?
it does look a bit like that. But it was just yeah, it was pathetic, and yeah, I don't think WWE will be making that mistake again.
No, let's hope not. Let's go straight to the main event. Do you know what? This was the one thing I actually, apart from the fact Punk was blowing after 10 minutes, and he was. I mean, there's no, I love seeing Punk. I think he's great. But he was blowing after 10 minutes, and Seth did have to carry the majority of that match. There's no doubt. And he did. I thought this was great. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. It was good, and you can tell there's respect there between them two. I know that they pander, that they hate each other, and we've got and there is probably an element of, the whole storyline was, Punk left. Seth was building the brand, building the company. Punk was shitting on it every 5 minutes. He took the blood money from Tony Khan. It didn't work out, and then you come crawling back with your fucking tail between your legs, and you're back in the WWE kind of thing. Punk's like, well, I'm still the best in the world, and he went on to prove that eventually. It took a little bit, maybe 3 GTSs, I think, in the end to get the
Same
job
finish
done.
that he done in AEW.
Same finish they done in AW. It's
Same
again,
ring gear that he wore at Wembley Stadium.
yeah, the night of the final, the incident
Hmm.
where he punched Jack Perry in the face and whatever, and Tony Khan was threatened for his life and whatever, and that same thing. Um, but he could look, despite the fact he was blowing, Seth Rollins pulled that match in. I thought it was a great way to win. I don't think the feud's finished between them two. Punk was
Oh, I
taking the
hope not.
piss out of him a little bit. When it was Seth was bleeding, he was up there, and Punk was still doing all of this stuff. But great main event. CM Punk can still go, albeit very blowy, but Seth stole the show.
Yeah, I would want Seth to have won. That was my
Mm.
only thing. I think you could
Yeah,
have got more out of the storyline if Seth had won. I
yeah.
get why they've done it. You wanted to send everyone home happy, yada yada yada. I get it. It was a great match, but yeah, Seth 90% of it carried it. There was some, hit all the spots. It was really good. But yeah, and like you say, apart from Punk buying, but it's probably the first time he's actually wrestled in a fair amount of time, in a good 4 or 5. When did he last wrestle? What was the last event when they were all locked in the cage before?
World Games.
Yeah, that's the last time he wrestled. What was that? 4 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago? 4
Yeah,
weeks ago.
it was his first match on Raw in over a
Yeah,
decade.
and obviously they haven't done any house shows apart from the holiday tour, which was like 2 or 3 days long. So he hasn't really done
Yeah.
any house shows. It was his first proper, yeah, So yeah, but yeah, great way to end the show. Little bit disappointed that Seth didn't win. Enjoyed the finish because I recognised the finish from when I did used to watch AEW. I've seen Punk do that finish, really enjoyable. Did it? Was it that moment though that thought, oh, it's ended like this? I want to watch next week. Probably not, but it
No.
circles all the way back to what you said at the start. This show done what it set out to do.
Hmm.
It knew, like Michael Cole kept telling us, 80% of the world population has a Netflix subscription. If he told me that once, he told me that a million times. We get it, Michael. We get it. You've got, so it done a job. It was a great match. It was entertaining. The only thing that I didn't like was that they didn't put Punk's promo on TV afterwards.
Yes, so he did cut a promo afterwards when and first thing he done was acknowledge Chris Bay as well, which I really like. For
Yeah.
those of you not seen the injury, apparently it's one of the worst injuries in wrestling and happened on
Hmm.
TNA. There is stuff that you can do. You can go and buy his merch and shit like that. That TNA
Help him
donate
out.
everything to
Yeah,
his
do it.
family, which is great. He then kept on saying about how he's the number, the age is just a number, and then he said, pretty much confirming he's going in the Royal Rumble.
And he's pretty much confirmed he's going in at number one. All he keeps saying, I'm number one. I'm one at everything. I'm one at this. Yeah, my only worry is if he does go in at number one, Jesus,
That
the
is
wee bit
literally what.
tired.
Yeah, because if he goes in at one, he's over an hour.
Yeah, he's going
Or
to be a lot of
does
laying down under
Roman
the rope.
eliminate him from the Rumble?
And yeah, me and you were talking on text earlier. I said to you, I think that's where the feud they potentially go down. And I think maybe you go down Punk and Roman. Do you go down Seth and Cody?
Cena
Do
and Cody.
See, yeah, I mean, I don't think we get Roman Cody 3 at Mania. I don't think we
No,
do that.
I think it all revolves around if The Rock is doing it.
Yeah, I think it's too easy to put the belt back on Roman as well, straight
Yeah,
away. He'll
yeah,
get it again. That's not even in question. When, where, why, how, I don't know. If you are changing the title from Cody at Mania, who? How? I personally don't
yeah.
think The Rock's at Mania.
No,
I genuinely don't think he is. I think he might be there, but it'll be a backstage. It'll be a
yeah.
promo. I don't think he'll be wrestling. So what do you do with Cody now? Who is he going to feud against? It's going to go. My fucking god, this is going to be incredible main event at WrestleMania.
Cena's the only one that does it for me, just
Yeah,
because of the
which
more
means
to
does he win
name
the
value.
Rumble? I
Yeah.
know obviously, or Elimination Chamber. Does he
Mm.
win the Chamber? Because the winner of the Chamber usually
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
the main event at Mania. I mean, Cena Cody, does that really?
I think it's more of the stature of the name. Like Rock and Hogan's a prime. I'm not saying it's going to hit that note, but when Rock and Hogan wasn't necessarily a great match either. But it's that moment, isn't it? They're standing there, they're looking
In the
either
yeah.
side, the crowd. That's what I think it's done for. They could do it for.
Yeah, no, I think you could be right. Me just being me, I don't know if that for me, I don't know if that appeals to me as a wrestling fan. I mean, there's millions and millions of people that absolutely love that and they'll be like, yeah, I'm hyped for it. I've seen he's going to win the title. Is it too easy just to go put the title on him at Mania?
Yeah,
Realistically, though, they're going to do it. Where else would you want to do it? There's me
Mania is
saying
the
all
only
this.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to do it at a Survivor Series or a. Here's the one. Does he win Money in the Bank?
he's won it before. He failed to cash in, if I remember rightly.
Does he win Money in the Bank? He tried to cash it in on Raw, didn't he?
Yeah.
Failed it on Raw, didn't he?
Hmm.
Does he win Money in the Bank?
Wins it on his last night, and as you say, then retires, and then they
Yep.
start January with no world champion.
Winner of the Rumble gets the title next year.
And that was when did they last do that? Was it Triple H when he won
Oh,
it?
Triple H won it in 2000 and
15, 6 along those
something
lines
like that. Because before that, it was way before. Like
with
before
Flair,
that
wasn't
one, Ric Flair's won. Ric Flair won it, and Hogan's won the title in the Rumble. I think there's only ever been 3 wrestlers that have won it in the Rumble match.
There's a
I think it's
trivia
Hogan,
question.
Flair, and Triple H. I think are the 3. People can tweet at HCD Buckle. But yeah, is that what happens? Is next year's Rumble, the title's on the line?
I
Whoever
don't know.
wins it wins the title. This is why I mean you should do this shit, really.
Yeah, we should.
I'm not
We're in
WWE.
the
I don't want to be
fucking ring.
delivering beer my whole life. Adam doesn't want to sit behind his computer all day recording 25 podcasts. Let's get us in there.
Don't mind recording 25 points, I'm going to pay me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
yeah, true.
there's a different kettle of fish. But yeah, look, it is what it is. First Raw's in the book. We'll find out next week, and obviously we'll be back to review it next week. But
Mhm.
a little dicky bird tells me two things.
Yes. Oh, go,
Number
go.
one,
Mm.
Commanders make the playoffs.
Ah, mate, and you were ribbing me last week. Yes, my Washington Commanders, hence why I'm for those watching on YouTube. I've got lots of Washington stuff going on tonight as me and Adam sit here recording this on
Mm.
a Wednesday evening. Yeah, so we've made the playoffs, mate. We play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1 a.m. next Monday. I've taken a day off, so I don't have to go to work. Yeah, we've got a chance, mate. We're doing well. Doing well. We made the playoffs in 2020. We did. We played. Funny enough, we played Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers at FedEx then in the wild card game, and we didn't really stand a chance. This time, we've generally got a chance. Will we go all the way to the Super Bowl? Probably not. I think we can get past the Bucks though, and then you never know. Maybe yeah, we're in the playoffs, mate.
Never know. And secondly, you've got another podcast.
Yeah,
Completed
you
it.
know me, mate. Yeah, so I wanted to do something where I love my movies, I love my comics, I love like all kinds of things like that. So I was chatting to a friend a couple of months ago. He's like, Andy, I'd love to see you do just something. It's nothing serious. It's nothing. I don't make a million notes or stuff like that. I mean, we've got Tim Russ on next week, who played for those of you like Star Trek. He played Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager. We've got some good comic people like Luke the Geek of Steel coming on Monday. It's just a light-hearted pod, mate. If you like your TV, if you like your movies, if you like DC and Marvel, all that kind of thing, maybe the odd wrestling little bit here and there, but that's probably going to be safe for hitting the turnbuckle. A little bit of sports sprinkled in there, but yeah, it's just a light-hearted me sitting down for a half hour talking for people from TV land, movie land. So yeah, if you know of anyone or anything that you want us to talk about, mate, it's yeah, at completed it, all one word on X, and yeah, just like and subscribe and all that jazz onto the YouTube. Yeah, we launch next Monday, mate. It's the first show, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just a little
Uh,
side hustle.
I'll be tuning in. I look forward
Thank
to
you,
that
sir. I
podcast as
appreciate it,
always.
mate.
We'll be back. Oh, obviously, me and Andy will be back next week. I'll be back, well, in about two
In
hours'
about an
time.
hour, knowing you.
Yeah, yeah. I've got Holly Hood Haley J from the Wrestlers coming on. She's actually NWA now, to be fair.
Nice.
But me and Fiona are going to be sitting down with her. We're going to be doing NWA. Shelly Martinez is coming on Friday, so I'm going to have to when these drop, recording Friday, not dropping Friday. Independent Showcase has actually been really good. Adam Bolt is another UK star. He's coming on. We had North Wrestling on this week. More on that maybe in the future. I can't go into it right now, but I had a voice message earlier today, quite interesting, stuff like that. So big shout out to those guys. Looking forward to working with those potentially in the future. Who knows? Jimmy Corderas drops this week. Referee. He's coming back on. Andy, you need to be on it when he's on
Text
it.
me the dates. I will put it in the calendar. Count me in.
Brilliant. He was great. We had half an hour with him. We're going to do a lot more with him as he's coming on again, as I said, in the future. So get ready for that. More stuff to be announced soon. Buckle update to be announced soon as well. So keep that. Get ready for your diaries, everybody. Not in the normal date this year. So just everyone, not in July. That's all I can say at this point. But Andy, it's always a pleasure. More podcast reviews, definitely. Obviously weekly now with Raw. I know we're going to look. We're potentially going to be doing a roundup every month as well.
Yeah, we need
Potentially.
to look at roundups and how we do SmackDown. And yeah,
Yeah.
well, SmackDown's hard for us because our football,
Yeah.
we've both got kids that play
Football
football.
and
We both watch
family.
football. Yeah, I mean, we could try. Yeah, we can review SmackDown. We'll review it. If not, I know you'll do it during the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll be back next week for Monday Night Raw, mate. Let's hope that this week was just a kind of this is what we do. Enjoy it, and then next week mate, Penta and Chad Gable. That's all
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean, you haven't even like we've still got Gunter, you got Sheamus, there's so many.
Oh,
You've
he's
got the
back next
tag,
week. Sheamus
yeah,
is back.
you've got
Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus.
the big the tag titles. I think they're doing something with them.
Women's IC champion gets crowned next week.
There you go. So I think this for me this was good. What happened on Monday was it? Yeah, it was great. Welcome back, everyone. This is professional wrestling. You can find it on Netflix now every Monday. But next week, let's get into what we know and love with professional wrestling. I just hope Netflix don't. I
And
love.
this should be getting another TNA interview in the next 2 weeks as well, guys. So get ready for that. I'll announce that when I can't announce until it's been done. That is the law from TNA.
That is the law.
It literally is. I got in trouble last time I announced it early, so not allowed. So
Naughty, naughty.
scout on it. It'll only be announced at the end. But yeah, Andy, we'll have you back next week. We'll see you guys before next week. But if you want to just do it for Raw, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, good, and bye.